End the tyranny of the veto. Why the UN must revoke the power of the few. For nearly 8 decades, 5 nations have held the fate of the world in their hands, not by virtue of justice, morality, or global consensus, but by a privilege rooted in the ashes of World War II, the UN Security Council veto. The United Nations was created to promote peace, equality, and collective security. But how can an institution built on the ideal of global cooperation function when 5 countries can silence the voices of nearly 190 others? Enough is enough. The veto power held by the United States, Russia, China, the United Kingdom, and France is not a symbol of global leadership. It is a weapon that kills resolutions, protects war crimes, shields genocide, and empowers impunity. It has been used time and time again not to protect the weak, but to advance the interests of the powerful. A system built for yesterday, not today. This privileged position was granted in 1945 under the guise of maintaining international stability. But the world of 2025 is not the world of 1945. The structure of the Security Council reflects an outdated geopolitical order where colonial powers decided the rules. The Global South, Africa, Latin America, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, continues to be marginalized, even though they represent the majority of the world's population. How can we speak of democracy, human rights, or fairness when a single country's no can silence an entire planet's cry for justice? Vetoes that cost lives. Let's be clear. The veto is not a diplomatic tool. It is a death sentence. Palestine bleeds because resolutions are blocked. Syrian children suffer while bombs fall with impunity. Millions in Congo starve while the world stays silent. Srebrenica, Rwanda, Yemen, and Ukraine, all marked by moments when action was needed, but a veto was used to preserve politics over people. Each time a veto is used to block humanitarian aid, ceasefires, or war crime investigations, the UN is complicit in the suffering it claims to prevent. Hypocrisy in high places. What kind of justice system allows the criminal to decide whether they should be tried? That is what the UN Security Council has become. When a permanent member is responsible for aggression or human rights abuses, they can simply veto the investigation into their own crimes. It's like allowing a murderer to preside over their own trial. No court would accept this. No school would accept this. No family would accept this. But the UN, the supposed beacon of global justice, does. The world has changed. The UN must too. It's time for the General Assembly, the true representation of the world's people, to rise and say, no more vetoes. No more unchecked power. No more dictatorship of the 5. All nations must have equal weight in decision-making. Every vote must matter. Every voice must count. Democracy must mean one country, one vote. We cannot speak of multilateralism and allow a structure that enables unilateral blockade. We cannot speak of peace and empower a few to sabotage it. We cannot speak of justice and allow systemic injustice to be written into the rules. A call to action. We call on all nations, civil society, and global citizens to demand the abolition or restriction of veto power. Pressure UN reform to ensure equitable representation. Support initiatives like the responsibility not to veto during mass atrocity crimes. Hold the permanent 5 accountable for misuse of the veto. Let the United Nations be what it was always meant to be, a platform for humanity, not hegemony. The world deserves better than 5 kings in a glass palace deciding the fate of billions. Revoke the veto. Restore the voice of the world. Justice delayed is justice denied. And justice vetoed is justice buried.